The tavern was in Cheyenne, Wyoming, resting where the prairie wind never truly sleeps. Out here, the sky stretches wider than most people's ambitions, and the silence carries its own kind of honesty. The Wandering Tavern had settled just off a long road where trains once howled through the night and friendships were forged the slow way, over years, not moments. The fire was low, the walls creaked softly, as if remembering other storms, other towns. I was polishing a glass that didn't need polishing when the traveler stepped inside. She hesitated at the door. That pause told me more than her eyes ever could. "Sit," I said gently, nodding toward the stool closest to the hearth. "You didn't come here for a drink. You came because something feels thin." She sat, the fire reflected in her eyes like questions she'd been holding too long. "I don't know who my real friends are anymore," she said. "Everyone feels close, but no one feels there." Ah, that old ache. In places like Cheyenne, people know your name before they know your story. That can feel like friendship if you're not careful. "Tell me about the people around you," I said, setting a mug of tea between us. She shrugged. "They check in, we talk, we laugh, but when things get hard, I feel alone, even in a room full of people." I leaned against the bar. Most people confuse proximity with connection. She frowned. "Isn't that the same thing?" "No," I said softly. "Proximity is being near someone. Connection is being known by them." I told her about travelers I'd seen pass through this very tavern, men who shared stories by the fire every night for a week, then never spoke again. Laughter, drinks, warmth, all real and still temporary. "An acquaintance," I said, "is someone who enjoys the version of you that costs them nothing." She looked down at her hands. "And a friend?" she asked. "A friend," I said, "is someone who notices you when you go quiet and doesn't let it pass." The fire popped. Outside, the wind brushed against the tavern like a curious stranger. "Why does friendship feel so rare now?" she asked. "Because real friendship has a price," I said, "and most people aren't told that up front." I explained how acquaintances thrive on ease. They appear when life is light. They vanish when it grows heavy, not out of cruelty, but because heaviness asks something of them. "A friend," I continued, "pays attention even when it's inconvenient. They remember your patterns. They know when you're pretending." She swallowed. "I think I've been doing that too, calling people friends without showing up like one." I nodded. That's the part no one likes to admit. We sat with that truth for a while. Cheyenne's silence has a way of making honesty unavoidable. "Being a friend," I said, "means staying when it would be easier to drift. It means saying hard things gently. It means risking the relationship to protect the person." She exhaled, slow and shaky. How do I know who's real? I smiled sadly. You don't at first. You learn by who remains when the weather turns. The night deepened. The fire softened. Most people chase many connections, I said. A friend chooses depth over numbers. I told her about an old rancher who once drank here, had hundreds of folks who knew his name, but only one who knew his fears. When that one friend passed, the rancher said something I never forgot. I didn't lose a friend. I lost a mirror that reminded me who I was. She wiped her tears. So what do I do now? She asked. You decide who you want to be, I said. An acquaintance to many or a friend to few. I leaned closer, and you start by being the kind of friend you wish you had. The rest reveals itself in time. She nodded slowly, like someone setting something heavy down at last. After she left, the tavern felt quieter, but not emptier. Cheyenne has that effect. It doesn't overwhelm you with noise or distraction. It lets your thoughts stretch out, just like the land beyond its borders. I cleaned the bar and watched the embers glow, thinking about how many people mistake warmth for loyalty, conversation for commitment, presence for care. Friendship isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It stays. And if tonight's lesson found you while listening, maybe you too are learning the difference. If this story stayed with you, then it was meant to. Take it gently. Let it rest beside you for a while. The road will still be here in the morning, and so will the fire. Until next time, rest well. My friend, the lanterns will remain lit, and the fire will be warm, even when the door closes behind you. Return whenever the road feels heavy, or when your heart seeks quiet company. Carry what serves you, leave the rest by the hearth, and know that this place and these words will wait patiently for you. Until then, travel gently and let the night watch over you.